Hello, people. I want to update you on what's going on in my life. Yesterday was quite a scary uh, tale of you have this, you don't, you have this, you don't. It was crazy. To begin, and I'll try to condense it, I woke early in the morning around like 3:30 or 4 with a really horrible headache in the back of my head and the front of my head. It really felt like my head was just being squished. And usually when I get a headache like that, it just causes me to become really nauseous, and I knew I was going to throw up. So of course I did. And I threw up several times, and my husband, who is just absolutely brilliant and very, very terrific at taking care of me, put what is intended as a suppository, but when I throw up, sometimes those things just kind of like, I know it's gross to share this with you, but they just like pop out of your body because you're throwing up. So he melts them in hot water, and he put it on my wrist, which is turning it into a compound in your body, absorbs it that way, and it really does work rather quickly. So he did that, and it knocked me out. And then I had to get up because I had an appointment for chemotherapy. So I went to chemotherapy and, told my doctor that I had been throwing up, and I had a headache, and that, but I still wanted to go ahead with chemo to stay on schedule. And he gave me a neurological test based on some questions that he asked me, and he felt that perhaps, some of the weakness in my right side wasn't entirely chemotherapy related or bone mets related. So he gave me this test. Basically, essentially, I would compare it to like the sobriety roadside test, touch your nose, stand on one foot, squeeze my hands, shined lights in my eyes and stuff. And he felt strongly, based on the results of my test, that I possibly had metastasis that had passed the brain barrier and that I might have a tumor growing. Actually, let me rephrase that. It freaked my husband out. He's really upset with him because he said, "You probably do have a tumor. I need to confirm it with a MRI, and we will begin treating you with radiation and a different type of chemotherapy." So he's talking as though it was a foregone conclusion that I had this. And naturally, we were both quite upset. That's pretty big to have it in your brain and to have to go to chemo, or rather radiation, every day, and have chemo and have things change like in an instant. So no chemo. They didn't do chemo yesterday. I went downstairs to the hospital part of the building and had an MRI, and within an hour we knew that I didn't have a brain tumor. So they felt that the symptoms also were similar to what you would experience if you had meningitis. So I had a lumbar puncture as well in the ER, and that came back saying I did not have that either. But while I was there, they had me with the little thing on my finger, and they were checking my oxygen, and I have cancer in my lungs, and I know I have fluid in my lungs, and the doctor confirmed that I had fluid in my lungs, and so my oxygen level was so low that they sent me home with a friend. And so that's real fun. I have oxygen, and it's at 3 liters, and I'm not real thrilled about having this. I'm hoping that the chemotherapy will begin to do as it did before and kill all of those cancer cells that are causing fluid buildup in my lungs, and that I will no longer have to take this. I'm really praying that that's the case. So this, as far as I'm concerned, is a temporary setback and will be gone relatively quickly. And so that's how I'm doing. I didn't have chemo yesterday, so I'm not feeling all blah post-chemo day after yuckiness, but yesterday was an ordeal, and it left me feeling really tired today. I'm not allowed to go to yoga because I had a hole poked in my spine yesterday, and they're concerned that, I do any activities. So I'm leaning with my chair tilted back because that's the position the doctor suggested I be in mostly, or flat on my back until 24 hours has passed. And so that is the update. I'm doing really well other than being tired. Forced myself to get up and get dressed and put makeup on and try to be normal. So, and that is all that is going on with me. I really appreciate you stopping by Leslie's Cancer Confessions to see how I'm doing. And that's it. So thanks for stopping by, people. Bye.